Hello students, let's understand chapter 4 sorting materials into groups, in which we are studying the property of solubility. Solubility. What is this solubility? You understand? Ability of a substance to dissolve in a liquid is called the solubility of that substance. Okay? So solubility means when a substance is able to dissolve in a liquid like water, then it is said to be a soluble substance. First, before understanding solubility property, actually you should know 2 or 3 terms. So first one is solute. Now understand what is a solute. The substance that dissolves in a liquid is said to be a solute. So, substance which dissolves in a liquid like water is called a solute. So, we can take examples like sugar, salt. These dissolve in water. These we can try to dissolve in a liquid like water. So, they will be called as a solute. We can even try with sand, chalk powder, or we can try with gram powder. We can try sawdust. All these substances which we try to dissolve in a liquid like water is called as a solute. Now come to next term, that is solvent. So liquid in which a substance dissolves is called as a solvent. Liquid that we are using to dissolve the substance, that is generally taken as water. So it will be a solvent. Some other solvents like alcohol is also taken sometimes as solvent for different solutes. Different solvents are used. Now solution. Solution means the liquid that we get after dissolving a substance in it is known as a solution. When we dissolve a solute in solvent, solute which is generally a solid is dissolved in a solvent which is generally a liquid like water, and then we get a solution. Okay, so this liquid that we get after dissolving these two things, that is a solute in a solvent, is known as a solution. Now students, how does a solute dissolve in a solvent? Actually, in solute and solvent there are molecules which are very minute particles present in the substances. They are actually having some intermolecular forces between them. Intermolecular forces means some forces of attraction because of which these particles or molecules are held together. That is there in between the solute molecules and solvent molecules. Now when a solution is formed, these solute molecules go in between the solvent molecules. If they are able to go in between the solvent molecules, then they will result in formation of a solution. But if solute molecules are not able to go in between the solvent molecules, then solution will not be formed, or we can say solute is not soluble in the solvent. You can understand this by doing an activity. You can take marble in one container. Marbles, I hope you know, glass marbles which are available, which are used for playing also, decoration also. Nowadays some marbles are available. You can take it in a glass container. Then take some soil or sand and try to put the soil or sand in between the marbles. Marble should be tightly packed in your glass, and then you put your soil or sand in that marble containing container. You will see that the soil or sand is able to enter in between the marble particles or marbles. So it means that here the marbles, you can take marbles as the molecules of solvent, and this sand or soil which you have taken to put in between them is the solute molecule. So if they are able to enter in between, if this soil or sand is able to enter in between marbles, so it means that it has formed a solution. Both of them have come together, so it has formed a solution. So this activity all of you students you can do. You can take a marble, or you can take a gravel, you can take any pebbles, and you can take sand or soil, and you can do this activity easily at your home to find out what is a solution, what is a solvent, and what is a solute. Now come to universal solvent. Now any liquid which is able to dissolve most of the substances in it is called as a universal solvent. Now universal solvent is your water, because water is able to dissolve most of the substances in it. So water is very useful for us. Its important function in our body is to dissolve the nutrients, and whatever food items we eat, it is dissolving the nutrients and taking it to the cells of the body. It forms a major part of your blood also. So water is very important for us as it is a universal solvent. It is used for making most of the solutions. Then come to insoluble substances. A substance which will be called as an insoluble substance as it does not dissolve in water. So insoluble substances, you can have example as soil, you can have your sand, chalk powder, sawdust. All these are insoluble substances because they do not dissolve in water. So insoluble substances have their particles or molecules which are bigger than the molecules of the solvent. So they will not be able to enter, or you can say its size is so big that it is not able to enter in between the molecules of the solvent. So it's insoluble and generally it settles down when we put in water. Even if we stir it for a long time, it will not dissolve, it will settle down slowly. So this property is very much used when we get the water at our homes. Public water supply department, they actually collect the water from the water bodies and they allow the solid particles or insoluble substances like sand and soil to settle down in that water, and after that they do filtration of that water and they give us the water from the top after the settling of the insoluble substances in that water. So I hope you have understood what are insoluble substances. Now come to solubility of gases. Now gases also, some gases are there which dissolve in water, like your oxygen and carbon dioxide. They dissolve in water. These two gases, they dissolve in water. Now how it is useful for us? We use carbon dioxide in making the some liquids that we drink. Some liquid drinks that we drink, like you got your Coca-Cola, Pepsi, all these drinks which you take, these have got carbon dioxide dissolved in them. These are sugary liquids and have carbon dioxide dissolved in them. So when you open the container, the carbon dioxide fizzes out and it appears very nice for us, and when we pour this Coca-Cola or any liquid juice like this into our glasses, then that gas comes out, so it gives a very nice look to us. So carbon dioxide is dissolved in sodas and it is dissolved in these liquid that we drink. Okay, so I hope you have understood. Then oxygen, actually some amount of oxygen is dissolved in water, but it is not, that is water bodies, but we cannot take this oxygen which is dissolved in water because we are mammals and we have got lungs. Because of the lungs we are not able to get this dissolved oxygen in water, but we have to breathe from the air only. But fishes and other aquatic organisms, they can take this dissolved oxygen in from water for their process of breathing or respiration. So aquatic organisms, they benefit by this dissolved oxygen and carbon dioxide because dissolved oxygen is taken by them for respiration. Now aquatic organisms includes both plants and animals. Both of them are included in aquatic organisms, means those plants which are inside water, submerged plants, like you have Vallisneria hydrilla, which are some examples of aquatic plants. Then aquatic organisms include the fishes, means animals, in that we can say fishes, crabs, then your some coelenterate are there, or hydra, which you will study later on. So these aquatic organisms, all of them are able to take the oxygen which is dissolved in water by the process of respiration or breathing. But here also there is some exception is there, like your whales are there, your some mammals are there in water. Some mammals are present as aquatic organisms, like your dolphins and whales are there, which are not able to take this oxygen dissolved in water. Dolphin is also a very good example. So it has to come out of water and through its blowholes it will take the oxygen from the air. Now come to carbon dioxide, which is dissolved in water. Students, this carbon dioxide which is dissolved in water is taken up by the aquatic plants. Like I said, some green plants which are there inside water, they have to do photosynthesis. So for that process of photosynthesis, this carbon dioxide is utilized by these green plants like your Vallisneria hydrilla. They are able to take this carbon dioxide which is dissolved in water, and then they do photosynthesis, and in this process they release again oxygen. That oxygen gets dissolved in water and it is used by aquatic organisms like fishes, crabs, and so many other coelentrates for their process of respiration and breathing. So I hope you have understood that aquatic organisms are benefiting by solubility of gases which are oxygen and carbon dioxide in water. So I hope students today you have understood the property of solubility, and solubility property is very important property of materials because it decides that which material can be used as for various purposes. Like I said, some gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide, in this carbon dioxide is used by us for making some drinks or soda waters, okay, some sweetened drinks that we drink like Coca-Cola, Thumbs Up, all this have carbon dioxide dissolved in it. So based on the property of carbon dioxide, we have used it for making our soda water. Similarly, materials which are soluble in water, they are used for making various things like sugar, which is soluble. Sugar is a solute, and if it is soluble in water, it can be used for making sugar solution. Salt is soluble and it can dissolve in water. So it is mixed in, while we make some curries, we mix the salt with water and we add it to the curry. So it gets dissolved in water. So this property of salt or sugar we have used for making the food items. But if some property, some substance is there, like we have studied that soil, sand, they are insoluble in water. So when we know that soil and sand are insoluble in water, so we will keep the water in which soil and sand is dissolved, and we will allow soil and sand to settle down, and then we will take out the water from top and we will filter it and we will use it for various purposes. So I hope you have understood that how solubility, or knowing that whether a material is soluble or not, we can use that material for making our object. Like sugar, salt, they can be used. And that will tell us for which use that object can be put to. So I hope you have understood, students, today this chapter, sorting materials into group, the property of solubility, solute, solvent and solution, and universal solvent, insoluble substances, solubility of gases, and how solubility of oxygen and carbon dioxide is helpful for the aquatic organisms. So thank you and have a nice day.